The Safe Banking Act did not arise in your committee. It came out of financial services, some degree judiciary. Obviously, as a public safety, we had the statistics, Mr. Cole, for armed robberies of dispensaries in Oklahoma that have occurred. California, within the month of November, just in the Bay Area, 25 armed robberies, 2 people shot, just because there's so much cash. Within the bill, and the reason it was germane to the NDAA was because of the components concerning cartels and foreign money laundering. So a national security nexus to the piece of legislation. And obviously, putting it in the NDAA was not my first choice. And the refusal by the Senate to, and Mr. Cole, you talk about regular order a lot, and I think one of the disappointing things, at least with this bill and a number of other things, we do go through regular order and then run into a vacuum, some kind of emptiness over on that side, and it is frustrating. And so then what you have to do is you have to take it up a notch, take it up 2 notches to get somebody's attention. Well, we took it up in several notches by putting it in the NDAA, and you too, and I appreciate the work you did in knocking on that door and continuing to knock on the door. Precisely why the majority leader, Mr. Schumer, is opposed to this is still pretty much a mystery to me. Makes no sense because of the public safety aspect, the minority business aspect. Without the ability to have banking, many small businesses, veteran-owned organizations, women-owned businesses don't have access to capital. So you've got a public safety thing, you've got access to capital, and we're at 47 states. Every territory and the District of Columbia allow for some kind of cannabis use, whether it's medical or fully legal or cannabis oil. So it's not, you're not putting the genie back in the bottle. You're just not. We've got to deal with it, and they've been unwilling to deal with it. So I appreciate advancements that have been made by the negotiations you two have undertaken. Now, obviously, and Adam, Mr. Smith, you have heard my ire and my irritation and my anger because people are getting killed. They're getting robbed, and we're making no move. We now have made some advancements, but this thing's been sitting there for 3 years. 3 years. 2 years when Senator Crapo was the chairman of Senate Banking, and for them, at that point, it was too big and too broad. The bill was too big and too broad. Now Democrats are in charge, and it's too narrow and too limited. But people are still getting killed and robbed. And so this is, it makes no sense to me. And I think for me personally, the question is, do I start really throwing procedural wrenches into everything? My intention today, and I just had a long conversation with the Speaker, who too has been making real efforts to advance this piece of legislation and let it see the light of day and get a hearing on it and get a vote. That's all I want is a vote over there and not just deep sixth forever. So my intention was to, Mr. Cole, you'll be interested in hearing this, advancing an amendment to the rule to have the Safe Banking Act become part of the rule. I'm not going to do that. I know that it would potentially breach whatever kind of oral agreement you have reached in terms of your 4 corners. There's not a conference report. There's not something where people signed on the dotted line, but you have an agreement, and I'll respect that. But I do, I'm not raising the white flag on this thing. We're going to keep bringing this up, and, whether it's on a CR or, some other kind of thing until we get this thing moved. I just want an up or down vote. And I think if, there are 40 co-sponsors on that bill, 10 of whom are Republicans. So here you're doing it through regular order, with hearings, big bipartisan votes, with strong participation by the minority party. It's everything you want to do in this place, and you get, I don't want to say it in public, on record, but you don't get the attention because you need to be the squeaky wheel. So I thank the committee for kind words, for really supporting me in this effort. I'm going to work with the Speaker to work with Senate majority and minority leaders to get this thing heard in one fashion or another, or I really am going to start gumming up the works.